Hey, what's going on, Raiders? I'm the OneTrueSpry, and this is Raids Boot Camp. Today I'm going to be covering everything you need to know about campaign farmers. I'm going to be showing you the two different type of builds you can use, as well as going over some of the basic information, such as masteries, gear requirements, and certain champions. So let's get into it. Alright guys, we're just going to be hopping in real quick to my Excel doc that I made. So this is just a generic list for some of the most frequently used campaign farmers. I have them separated by rarity. So for legendary, like we go Biggin, Queen Eva, Ray. And then also on the right side, I have some honorable mentions, such as like Ignatius, Suzerain. But I honestly, if I were you, I wouldn't be using legendary unless you get like Queen Eva, and that's the only thing you're going to use her for. Simply because if you build them to be a campaign farmer, you might not be able to use them in other places in the game. So a lot of people will actually just invest in like a Bellower or a Bellhound that can single-handedly be used for only campaign. Now, before you jump out of your seat saying, oh no, we don't have all these champions, like, how do you expect me to do my campaign farm if I don't have a Queen Eva or if I don't have a Skull Crown? And guess what? That's why there's others listed. So, like, if you don't get the luck from summoning from Void Summons, then you can still go with a Saurus or a Shield Guard. Just because they're uncommon doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that they're not going to have as high as in-game stats. So, honestly, I'm not going to tell you not to invest in a Saurus because he can hit great. It's just you're going to have to put the gear into the champion. The champion skills are just kind of like 1 point. If you don't have the gear to properly equip the champion, then you're kind of just setting yourself up for failure. Alright, well, from here, I'm going to be hopping over to actually show you guys the content. I'm going to be showing you the 2 ways that I actually farm, as well as I'm going to go over some basic information. Alright guys, so for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to be showing you 2 different champions that I'm going to be using. The first champion is going to be Fellhound. He is going to be a Void rare. If you have Void Shards, you more than likely summoned a Bellower or a Fellhound within like the first 20. If you haven't yet, just keep on trying. They're great rares, simply because they can be used both faction wars, and then for Bellhound, he is an amazing Fire Knight champion. And then the second champion I'm going to be using is going to be my most recently pulled Skull Crown. I literally just got her leveled up, if you can't tell. So Skull Crown, I have her built as a 2-hit speed campaign farmer. What this means is that I'm not requiring her to drop the enemy team in 1 hit at a time. So I'm okay with her using 2 of her A1s to drop the enemy team. It will still be fast, it just won't be as quick. So for her gear, this is the requirements. I would advise, if you're ever going to do campaign farming, you want to have about 200 crit damage, as well as you want to be above 3,000 attack. Can you do it with less with certain champions? Yes, but you're going to require a higher hit multiplier from that champion. And then because I'm using her for arena as well, she's at a 199 speed, so that's why I chose to use her as my 2-hit. Going over masteries, so there's going to be 2 different ways that you're going to build masteries for campaign farmers. One is going to be you're going to use offense and support, and then 2, you're going to be using offense and defense. Offense is your main one, simply because you're going to get all the additive hit multipliers. So for example, something that I would choose differently on my Skull Crown if I was to reset her is, instead of getting Grim Resolve, because it can do the work, but I'm hitting at full health. I would much rather go with Heart of Glory, simply because it's going to improve my damage output while I'm at full health, which I will be at the start of every turn. Coming down, Ruthless Ambush. This is going to increase the damage on your first hit for every enemy. And then another big one down here, Kill Streak. So what this does is it's going to increase the damage you do based off of how many enemies you kill. So for 12-3, if you have ever seen it before, the last wave has the most defense and the most attack. So they're going to be a little bit more tankier than the first two waves. Also, Whirlwind of Death is going to be huge if you don't have the speed requirements to go over 200 for the last wave for a double hit. Then Whirlwind of Death can help push you over that edge if you need it. And then there's 2 tier 6 that are viable. I would say you either could take Flawless Execution, which is just a promised 20% crit damage, or you can also take Helm Smasher. For Arena, I'm actually thinking about flipping Skull Crown over to take Helm Smasher instead, but either one's going to work for campaign farming. Alright, so let's just hop into campaign so I can show you guys what she does. Now we're going to be in Brutal. We're going to go 12-3. This is the most common campaign level farmed due to the fact that you're going to get the shields with the experience, and the shields are worth more compared to running 12-6. So what you'll notice as soon as Skull Crown comes in, she's going to land her A2, hit A1, and as I said, I'm using a 2-hit for her. So she's going to use 2 A1s to clear that second wave, and it's coming in at 10 seconds. 10 seconds is huge in comparison to most of your other farmers for early game. So if you're using like Kale and getting down to like a 40-second run, or if you're using like Elhain and you're getting like a little under a minute, that 10-second run is going to be huge. It's going to increase your capabilities by like 6-7 fold. Now I'm going to go ahead and take you guys out to Fellhound. Alright, so for Fellhound, I have Fellhound built in a 1-hit kill. However, I purposely held back his damage just a little bit so you guys can see the health of the last wave. All I would have to do is going to be increase either my chest piece or my boots by another couple percent, and I'll be able to kill that last wave. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to barely miss one-hitting the one champion on the last wave. For his stats, again, over 200 crit damage, that's what you want. Speed, you just need to have him over, I believe the fastest for 12-3 is 102. So anything over a 102 speed should be fine. You just need to hit before the enemy hits. And since Fellhound is both defense and attack based, for his A1, which is his damage ability, I went ahead and put some into attack, but mostly into defense because it's the priority for his skill. All right, for his masteries, oh, I don't have him finished. Oh well, don't need it. So for his masteries, this is another way that you can build. You can go the offense and support. Offense coming down, getting crit rate, crit damage, that additional damage bonus for being full health. Speed, increased attack for the first hit, and then coming down, not really needing this one, I think. Okay, because he's using his A1, we're not going to need to reset any cooldowns, so that's why I chose this. Increased damage overall, and then again, just the promised crit damage bonus for taking Flawless Execution. coming down the support tree, I used to have Fellhound built as a 2-hit. So back then, I actually needed Lore of Steel to be able to get the speed boost bonus from speed sets or perception, so that way he could actually go 2 times before the enemy goes once. But I no longer need that on him, so. Alright, now I'm gonna take you guys back into campaign again. 12-3. So if you don't have Fellhound's damage up high enough to where he can one-hit somebody on that wave, then Fellhound will actually use his A2 or his A3 before using his A1. So you need to make sure that you build him out with enough damage to actually trick the AI into thinking that he can kill someone. Now, I stopped it here on purpose for the 3rd wave, so you guys can actually see what I was talking about. We're going to slow this down to 1 times real quick, and then he's going to instantly use his A1. I'm going to flip it on to auto real quick. Now, 16,000 damage. These guys all have about 19 to 21,000 HP. So what you're going to need to do is see your damage multipliers on which champion you want to use. I would suggest using Ash's RSL damage multiplier Excel doc, just because it's really good resource. It's going to help you guys figure out your exact numbers for your multiplier. But either way, you're still going to be able to get what you need done. Now, to make this fair real quick, I don't know why I clicked out all the way. I'm going to run you guys back through one more time with it being on full auto. You guys can see his time. And then I'm going to increase his damage a little bit so you guys can actually see it with full effect. So 12 seconds now. And then what happens if, again, since his damage is high enough, it will automatically use his A1 on every wave. Oof, so close. Oh, that's a fail. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so after about 2 seconds for you, 30 minutes for me selling gear and having to upgrade Fellhound, I finally got him to where he can actually one-hit the entire waves. I had to upgrade his chest, his boots, and his melee weapon. His weapon. Anyways, so this is his stats now. Minimum's just gonna be, you want to get that 100 crit rate, and then as much crit damage as possible, at least 200. Let me take you into campaign real quick so you guys can look at him as a one-hitter. Also, if you don't know, speeds will vary whether you're on a phone or a PC, due to the fact that on PC it's just going to be a little bit faster for the frames per second, because on phones you're going to have a little lag. So instead of being a 6 second, for you guys it'll be 7 seconds. Not a bad thing. The 1 extra second, it's a one-off. You're going to get that with waiting screens no matter what. So, but yeah, this is how that works. One hit. Alright Raiders, I just want to thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching the video. If you guys used a different campaign farmer, post it in the comments down below. I'm kind of interested to see what the majority of the populace is running with right now. As well as if you guys were able to learn anything, just go ahead and leave a thumbs up. I appreciate all that support, guys. If you have enjoyed the Raid Bootcamp series, stick around. I plan on releasing more videos in the future. But as always, I'm the OneTrueSpry, and I'm out of here.